Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Chelsea Lambert with Lex Tech Review, and we are chatting with attorney and founding partner of Reib Law, Scott Reib. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us this afternoon.
You're welcome, Chelsea. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. I asked you to jump on a quick call because I wanted to dive into the fact that, following our case study and working together with you on that, you've been a shining example of what it's like to actually launch a subscription-based legal service for your clients. And that's something that we're going to be talking a lot on the site and in the education that we're doing right now about. And there are so many attorneys that I've talked to that know that it's a really valuable option for their clients, that there's the ability to be more profitable, to establish predictable cash flow, all of those benefits, but they're hesitant to do it. So coming from someone who's gone through the process of transitioning to a monthly plan or a subscription-based service with your clients, what's some advice that you have for firms that are considering it? Or what really, two questions, what's your advice for firms that are considering it? And two, what was that turning point for you where you decided we're going to do a monthly?
Oh, okay. Well, my general advice would be do it. Just do it, because I first started thinking about doing this in 2007 and didn't actually start doing it until the summer of 2012.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of lost revenue in that, which is bad for my business. And there's a lot of small business owners that I didn't get to help because I didn't have the right model in place. And so both of those things are bad. The big turning point for me was when I decided to hire a coach to help me put it together. I just wasn't able to get it out of my head of what I wanted to look like onto paper and into an actual plan that would be sellable. And so I went searching for a coach and tried a traditional lawyer coach, and that didn't work because they didn't understand the vision of the subscription-based plan. And finally, I found a business coach out of Tulsa, Clay Clark, who had worked with some other entrepreneurs that I knew. And he was able to understand my vision, and having no idea of really how law firms worked, wasn't constrained by that box of what a traditional law firm was supposed to be. So he would really push the envelope, and then I'd have to kind of bring him back in because he didn't have the rules of ethics and things to have to worry about. And so they were much more creative. And so that was really kind of the turning point. With once I put this in someone else's hands and said, listen to me, hear what I want to do, and then tell me how to do it. Tell me how to get from A to Z. I need a map, and then hold me accountable to action steps. And once I did that, within a matter of 3 months, we went from no subscription plan to our first client.
And that's an interesting highlight. So were you only offering this to new clients, or was there a point where then you looked at your existing client base and you went to your existing client base and transitioned some of them? Because this is a new offering. So expectation setting when clients come through your door is, this is something that we offer. I think this would be a fit for you. And it's easy to onboard new clients, but at what point did you go to your existing client base and begin to transition them over? Or have you done that?
Yeah, pretty quickly. Once we got it to where it was something I knew how to present, you go from creating the plans, so then you have to create the marketing and actually a sales script. And once I had all that down, then I did start presenting it to people that had used us in the past. Because a real big reason for me doing this was that I would do a litigation project for a company, and then I wouldn't hear from them anymore. They would just disappear. And then 2 or 3 years later, they'd pop back up with some horrible problem that they wanted me to solve. And then I'd charge them a lot of money, and they'd be upset because it costs a lot of money, and they'd disappear again. And so that was a big part of the reason that made me start it, was I had to come up with a solution to create a relationship-based firm so that people wanted to spend time with us so that I could help them avoid problems, and that they would bring their problems to me and not fear the large hourly rate. So yeah, we turned that around pretty quickly and started telling those people about it. And some of them were pretty quick to adopt, and some of them weren't. They'd already been burned by the hourly rate and weren't so interested.
Yeah. And that's a great point, is that open line of communication, and we talked about this in your interview, is that open line of communication. It creates a proactive relationship with the client, of them being able to come to you when something falls out of bounds, or maybe they have an agreement that they would have just normally signed and not thought anything of it, and then a year or two later now we have an issue and you've already signed something, or you didn't do the proper contractual agreements in the projects or relationships that you have. Very common in business law, especially. Entrepreneurs just kind of go and do what they want and then deal with the aftermath later. Now you've also created these plans with specific deliverables, so that you're not having to do all of that constant communication and those touch points and delivering value manually for every single client. Can you talk a little bit about the components of your monthly program for your business law clients and what's included in that you have been able to scale?
Sure, we can talk about some of the things that we've included in. Since we started this, so in 12, wow, it's almost 6 years. The plans have changed a lot over the years. Usually November, December is when I kind of look at the plan and consider making changes. But there's the first year or two, it probably changed every month, because I would learn, oh, you can't deliver this, or you have to deliver something else. And so then I would just make the change, and then the next client that came in got a different pitch. And so you kind of have to be ready to do that. But some of the things that you have to consider when starting a plan is that you can't have just one plan. One plan won't fit everybody. You have to have different price points, because there's different sizes of business, different cash flows. And so you have to have different plans. We right now have 4 different levels in our access plan. One point I had 6. I've had as little as 3, but you have to have more than one, because they just won't all fit, and you'll miss out on business. And if you're trying to start this, the main thing is just to get people into your program, and then you can always either adjust them upwards to more money if you need to, or let them go as you get better at it and creating the program, because you just need people in your system so that you can get better at it. But some of the things that we did from the very first was that we had the creation of legal entities. So creation of LLCs, corporations, partnerships, that was included in our plan. All the client has to do is pay the state fee. So if you're a true entrepreneur, that's something that's really good for you. So you're no longer having to go to the web and do a fill in the blank form, hope you're answering the questions right, and then go enter into whatever deal you're trying to do. It may be speculative, there's liability issues, but able to start with the LLC at really almost no cost, it gives them a real comfort level. And so we have some clients that we'll do, I don't know, 15, 20 LLCs a year. And sometimes they don't shut them right back down because the deal didn't work, but they have the flexibility to do that because they're access clients. The other thing that we've always included is contract reviews, because that's where a lot of the mistakes are made, is that people are signing agreements that are just bad. And so that's always been a staple of the plan. We do have right now one level that doesn't have that in it, and then that's an a la carte service. The other thing that we've usually had in it is the ability for them to select a plan level that would include the creation of custom contracts, so that they have good, solid legal agreements for their particular customers that is subject to, that when reviewed by a customer, they'll like. I see a lot of lawyers putting out contracts that are, legally, technically, they're amazing, right? They've got everything tied down, and they have so many teeth to them that no one would ever sign them. And so it doesn't it doesn't help. You can't do any business, so why do you need a contract? And so we've been able to help them create contracts that are friendly looking, that have friendly words in them, that then lead towards doing business and still give them the ability to enforce their rights and have real clear understanding between themselves and their customer or client so that they know what's expected. Because really that's all that a contract is it's the framework for what each side is supposed to do for the other in the contract and what they expect. And if you can do that clearly, it eliminates a lot of the big expensive legal issues that the plan is designed to avoid. So that was going to be a starter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that you have a plan level where if they don't want it, it's still a la carte. And so that brings me to my next question is you have these plan levels and you can move clients up as their business continues to grow. Okay, we're going to need a little bit more. Now you need, additional contract creation instead of just review. So you're moving them up as they're growing, which I'm sure that they appreciate as well, being able to fix the cost of those services and those needs and having that open line of communication. So let's say that litigation does occur. Let's say that outside of what the plan includes, there are issues that need to be dealt with. How do you handle pricing for those types of arrangements, and how do you handle that conversation?
Okay, that goes two ways. Sometimes we have to send it out because maybe we were involved in the negotiation process and are kind of too much a part of it. And so then we have go to litigation boutique firms that we trust, and we take it to them, and then we quarterback the litigation for them so that they always know what's going on and try to help them control the cost. The second way, or probably the most often, is that we do litigation, and each level of our plan, you get a certain percentage discount on non-included items. So right now, your first discount, if you're what we call an essentials client, then you get 10% off of whatever you do. So my hourly rate's $400. So every time we bill you an hour, you're going to get 10% off of that hour. And over time, that really adds up. If you're at the top level of our plans, you get a 25% discount off of that rate. Whether it's my rate or my paralegal's rate, it's always 25% off of that. And so you can save thousands of dollars per month in an active litigation file. And that's how we've done it to this point. I really don't like the hourly billing, and I've tried some other things. We've done some tiered where you pay for phases of litigation. I found that was hard to manage, and so we haven't found a great way to do that. I mean, my goal is to not do any litigation and only use outside litigators at some point so that we can focus just on delivering value on an ongoing basis to the people in our plan. Because when I'm litigating, I may be helping you as a client. If Chelsea you had a case, but there's a whole bunch of other clients that can't get to us because we're so busy litigating. And that kind of happened today. And so I would prefer that we not actually be in litigation and that we just be the people that are trying to avoid litigation. And I think that really probably works the best is the transactional, what I call the relational things. Like I just had a phone call with a client that signed up 2 weeks ago because she just had a few questions. And so she just wanted on my calendar. And so I spent 5 minutes with her. She's able to go into the weekend now and have some peace of mind that she got her questions answered. And if I'm in conference calls or depositions, then I'm not available. And if I'm not doing that, someone else at the firm's doing it, there's always some resource that's being taken away from our primary goal, which is to service our access clients.
Yeah. And that brings up a great point of profitability and scalability. So with litigation and with hourly billing, as you know, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many hours in the week, the year. And with the subscription-based model, now you're able to free up time. And this is where I get a lot of questions from attorneys about, well, but that means that they have unlimited access to you, and that how can you be profitable if you're providing unlimited contract review and unlimited document review, and fear sets in for them. So can you speak to has there ever been in a situation where someone has been, abusing the plan or really just, maxed out what they were using on a regular month? Do you find that people are pushing that limit, or that they're actually on the opposite side of, like, having the gym membership and only going twice a month? So two sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, and I've never seen, we've not had anyone yet really abuse the system. The secret that everyone doesn't know is that we don't actually track the numbers of times people call us. We don't track the numbers of contracts that are being reviewed. So you could get more than you're entitled to, and I wouldn't know. It would be obvious if you were abusing the system, and then I would have to go back and figure it out. But kind of how it ends up, it just kind of balances out, right? I mean, your gym membership analogy is probably really good, that there's times where I'm at the gym a lot, and then there's times where I'm too busy and don't go. And it just, the law of averages has it where everyone doesn't show up at once ever. And there are some busy times, but it's still, those are few and far between. Generally, it's a pretty steady pace. We have something a couple things we built into our plans that help. There aren't unlimited contract reviews. When we're preparing, if it's actually a work product, we do have some limits on there. And so the clients see those limits and they think they'll get charged if there's more. And so they tend not to do more. I do have plans with unlimited access, and no one ever abuses that. All my clients have my cell phone number, so they text me, but it's not a big deal. And then the way I've really been able to leverage on the time part is that I don't do all the work. I have a team of people that are better at looking at legal documents than I am. That's not my skill. My skill is more on the strategy side and the issue spotting and finding, the things that we can correct. So I have the people that are really good at drafting contracts, reviewing contracts and marking them up and doing that, and then preparing that for me so that I can then have the relationship with the clients. And then I'm teaching other lawyers how to deal with the issues as they come in, learn how to do that, and then work on the relationship side so they can then have their own access clients with someone else doing the work that they don't want to do anymore. If you want to do that, if you want to keep doing contracts, that's fine. That's not what's fun for me. What's fun for me is getting to know people, hearing their situations and problems, and then coming up with a solution. I don't want to be the solution. I want to come up with a solution. The other key to the scalability is that you've just got to make sure that you're just putting so much more value in these plans from the client side that they could never use it all. It's a value stacking proposition. They've got to be getting so much value that it's just a no-brainer for them to pay you whatever the monthly fee is. And it just works. I was skeptical at first too, but if you start running the numbers, it just works. You can pay people a pretty good rate of pay to help you with your subscription clients and still make a very good profit margin.
Excellent. Well, and love that vote of confidence. You can kind of see in your demeanor that it's been working really well for you. Let's talk a little bit before we wrap up about what it has done for you as, the CEO of your business. And when we first met, we connected through Kahuna Accounting, and they, also provided some insights into your numbers. And, you very much run your law firm as a CEO and look at strategy and look at direction and what you can offer to differentiate your firm from other firms out there. And what has having this predictable revenue done for you as a business owner? Has it made you, pursue or be more aggressive in your marketing, or, look to grow your subscription-based base of clients to a larger number, because now you have the financials to support it, that's predictable revenue? Can you talk a little bit about how that transition has gone for you as the CEO of your law firm?
Yeah, it's helped in a few ways. traditionally I would show up the first of the month and have to wonder where the first dollar was going to come from. And generally that was going to be by my time. And then did I have enough trust money in the account to actually cover the billable time? And so once you kind of step away from that, then it takes some weight off your shoulders, because there's a certain amount of money that's going to come in no matter what you do. And it really gives you the chance to then step back and work on your business instead of just in your business. As long as you're doing things by the hour, it's really hard to work on your business and look at it as a business. It's instead you're just solely focused on how many hours do I need to build to make this much money. And so it quickly changes to how many clients do I need to get into my plan to make this much money. And then you start becoming very outward focused and trying to find more people to tell your story and to tell how you can help them solve their legal and business challenges in a way that's affordable. And it just really frees you up.
Which is oh, go ahead.
It's not fast. I don't want to give everyone the impression that this happens fast. I guess it could, but it takes a little bit of time to get good at presenting it, and then finding the right people to present it to. I mean, the biggest problem that any business owner has, I say there's two. One is finding prospects and getting them into your funnel, and the second is managing the people on your team to deal with those prospects. And so you're still going to have those problems. Even if you have a great product and service, you still got to find people to put it in front of. And so it takes time, because the way I've built mine, the rates are not high. I don't charge people a lot of money. And so it takes a lot of clients to equal real money. But within a year, I was at $10,000 a month in recurring revenue, which was, I remember being pretty excited about that.
That's not a small number.
Yeah. Then you start trying to figure out what parts of the other things I'm doing can I start not doing so I can do more. And then you just kind of trade. There's a new problem. Now you have to figure out how to find more time to build your subscription business and pull away from some of the things that were driving revenue. I guess if you have no revenue, if you're starting from scratch, this would be amazing, because you would never have to bill anyone by the hour. You wouldn't have to pay someone to do billing, and you would just go out and take your plan to the marketplace, and you would have plenty of time to build relationships. And so that would be pretty fun, because it's really low cost, right? I mean, if you have an iPad and a cell phone, you could have a subscription legal service. You wouldn't need anything else, really.
Yeah, and everybody who's starting a law firm, I hope that you were listening to that. So the fantastic, feedback, Scott, and just driving that point home that it does take a little while. So if you're hesitant, or this is something that you've been considering, this is your opportunity to jump in. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your story the first time with us, but now, having you live with us today and digging into some of the advice that you have for firms out there. I really, really appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about Scott and his practice, you can visit, where's the best place for them to reach you, Scott, and learn more about what you do?
Yeah, you can go two main places. You can go to reiblaw.com, reiblaw.com. You can also go to scottreib.com, which is more of the coaching side, where I help people do this kind of thing, create recurring revenue. Or you can find me on Instagram at the Scott Reib.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. And I encourage everybody to learn from Scott. And again, it took you a few years to nail this down, and you've done an incredible job doing it. And at the end of the day, have been able to help so many more people than under an hourly model. So thank you for your time. And I look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.